Hello, everyone. This recording session is basically to introduce you into Blackboard and allow you to have an understanding where everything is in Blackboard. And so I will be going through each one of the items in Blackboard so you can see what's there and where they are and how to locate anything that you may have. So let's start with the Getting Started page, which is this section right here, and we're on the Getting Started page. So you'll see that I have the course syllabi here on the Getting Started page. Then again, you see I have the course outline, which we did a video on, we just completed. And in this course, you have a pretest, which is a 20-question pretest. Basically, that I allow you to have 2 weeks to actually complete this. It's just 20 questions, and I'll show you where that's located when we get into the different links within Blackboard. Just know that it's 20 questions. You have to complete it within the first 2 weeks of the start of the course. And then you have your post-test, which is at the end of the course. You'll find that I have my professor contact information there. I have my phone number there. As I said earlier in the syllabi video, that it's important that you call. I'm not saying that you can't email me, but I prefer you call me, leave me a message, or either I will answer and respond to your question. If you leave me a message, I will call you back and give you a response to your question. So basically, to actually reach me, especially if you're waiting to the last minute and you need to know something, it's important that you call. Just also know that in this course, not just this course, but in the program, we would like to have a 24-hour turnaround time. So you'll find me in your course daily, maybe 2-3 times a day, just to make sure that I responding to any questions or any needs or concerns that you may have. The next session basically is a sample discussion, but I'll be talking more about the discussion in detail and what's expected of you. So as you look at this discussion, you have a main discussion, and you basically see initial response, and the person led off with, according to NSW Code of Ethics, 1996. So that is the peer review support. That is the support that what this person is trying to say about the discussion question. And then they went one step further and talked about Reamer 2011, page 47. What it states. Just note that when you use an APA, anytime you have a direct quote, then you're required to have a page number. Okay, as we go on and look at the response to the individuals, we're asking you to actually name the individual you're responding to and not just post a response. Here again, this is where attention to detail is important, because if I'm going to give you feedback on your response, I need to know which particular response that I'm referring to that you have in your response post. So you need to lead off with the person name. So that tells me who you're responding to. And again, as you look at this, you'll see that this person talks about section 1.6, okay, of the Code of Ethics 1996. So this person is basically telling me that this is the peer report. This is the support article that I'm basically talking from to address the discussion question. Okay. Here again, you see another person saying, I agree. And think sometimes it's confusing. So this person is talking about the Code of Ethics, and then it's talking about the NSW Code of Ethics. So the Code of Ethics they're talking about in one is South Carolina Code of Ethics, which means it's a state code of ethics. And the NSW Code of Ethics is a little different from the state code of ethics. So you just need to be mindful. There are some similarity, but there may be some differences. But as social workers, we mainly adhere to the NSW Code of Ethics, and then we look at what the state Code of Ethics is actually saying to kind of help address those issues. Here you'll find the rubrics for the discussion. We'll be talking more, and I'll be talking more about that as you start your discussion posts. You'll find me be responding more. Your response is a little too brief. You need to be more thorough. You need to support with a support article. I'm not asking you to put things in your own words, but you can paraphrase an article that you read. But if you put things in your own word, then that's just your opinion about something, and it's not validated to anything because there's no support. It's just what you think it is, and so you're just one person. Where when you look at peer review articles and you look at textbooks and what have you, they are reviewed by a number of people. So there's more than just one person supporting what's in the textbook or what's in the peer review article. Again, I went on and put all the assignments. So you see where I have the sample assignment for 602, assignment 1. So when you click on that, you can see what the sample looked like. In addition to that, I have the assignment outline, which required of you. And then the third post on that is talking about the rubrics grade sheet for that particular assignment. So I kind of laid it all out for you right there on the getting started page. But I also show you in another area where it's located in Blackboard. But here again, this is a prime example where you have the assignment, a sample assignment. You have also the outline for the assignment, and then you have the rubrics for that particular assignment. I did the same thing with assignment 2, assignment 3, and assignment 4. So it's very important for you to look at that. Now you'll find that in assignment 3, you have the outline and you actually have the rubric sheet for grading that assignment. Now, did you get a sample assignment? No, you did not, because this is a team perspective. So what you come up with as a team is what I'm going to be looking for. Of course, the last part of the assignment, assignment 4, is the work plan. Basically, you have your outline and then you have your assignment grade sheet. So I need you to look at that, look at the rubrics, and it'll give you an idea of what you need to be doing. Here again, with any of these assignments, feel free to call me and we can go over it together and have a discussion about it. I will not teach it to you over the phone, but I will address any questions that you may have concerning the assignment. Okay, you have your critical reflections and active and proactive learning, and your participation, weekly discussion section. And here again, you have the discussion rubrics. You have the rubrics for the active and proactive learning. And then you have the awareness and reflection, critical reflection rubrics for this particular assignment. As you move on down, I gave you an APA handout. If you don't know about Safe Assign is the system that we use to detect plagiarism in your writings. It's mainly there to actually help you with that. I recommend that you submit your work through Safe Assign so that you can actually see. So if you see 59%, well, that means that you copied something from an area 59 times, which means that it can be taken as though you're plagiarizing. And if you don't have any response, that means you did not provide, if you didn't have any numerical number in Safe Assign, that means that you didn't apply any support articles. You just wrote something based on what you think, what you feel, and you never supported anything. So here again, Safe Assign is there to help you. Library instruction resource, I provided that information for you. Library resource link, I've also provided that. I gave you an example of what a writing sample should look like. I also provide you with an APA template there. And of course, this last section is all about taking the exam through proctorial. You don't have to worry about this. The only quiz you have is going to be your pre and post in this particular course. So I recommend that you actually look at everything on the Getting Started page, because I try to give you as much information as needed to help you be successful in this course. Here again, I must stress that you are the starting cohort to a program that's being reviewed for accreditation. So the quality of the work that you put in this course is going to be demanding, and it's going to be data that's going to be looked at as you go through this process. And we're going to be capturing data to support the accreditational process. So just be mindful of that the work you do is essential to the accreditation, and to include your man standing status. So the Getting Started page was the beginning, and I recommend you look at everything on the Getting Started page. The next area is the syllabi, so it's there again for you to take a look at, where you can pull it down. But just know that I have the syllabi and the course schedule on the Getting Started page. Okay, the next link is basically information about me. So you'll see that you have a little small bio of me, my welcoming you to the program. I also provided you with some contact information where you can contact me. And in my bio, I also give you a capture photo of me. Some people just like to put a face to the name. So that's there also. So this is just information page about the professor. So as we move on down to notifications, you should have already in the course received the NSW student orientation reminder that I sent out today regarding the orientation that's going to be scheduled for Monday. So this is where the announcements are going to be posted. And I usually do that each week. So I might post week 2 announcement reminder and list everything that you're required to do in week 2. So it's my idea of trying to help you through the process and to be successful in the course. Here again, you have the calendar posting. I know a lot of students basically depend on the calendar. Just be mindful to take a look at it, but also know that I have other courses in there. So I can eliminate those other courses so you won't see what's expected, but your regular course. So just know that I do have that there, and it'll give you an idea of what's basically expected during the term. That can help you. So, I recommend students look at the course schedule to see what's available. Utilize the course outline in Blackboard where we have the different weeks, and I'll talk about that as we move further down. So, after the announcement, after you have the calendar, okay, Blackboard Messenger. Okay, this is where you can send me emails. I can send you emails or messages back and forth. You can see that in this particular one, I already have an email. All that is the email that I sent to you earlier regarding the MSW orientation course that we'll be studying, that's scheduled for Monday. So that's the messenger section. Of course, my grade is where you're going to be checking your grades. That tells you for each one of the assignment, and you can see how it's listed there. After my grade, discussion board posts, this is where you're going to be responding to each one of the discussion. You can see that I can see all of discussion at one time, but when you click on discussions, the only thing you're going to see is the introduction discussion and discussion 1. That's all that's going to be available to you. And just be mindful that your initial discussion response is due on Thursday. And on Sunday of that same week, you need to respond to at least 2 of the learners regarding each of the questions that's in the discussion. And when I say response and to your peers in your initial repost, I'm talking about supported peer review discussion posts and responses. Okay, week 2, you can see I have week 2, which will open up after week 1 close, which is that Sunday. So all the discussions is located in the discussion section, and as you respond to the discussions, this is where you're going to go at discussion board and post your discussion. I recommend the students sometimes that it's important, or it might serve you better if you post your discussion in a Word document and upload it into the course via just typing into the discussion section, because sometimes it doesn't carry over. But if you put it as an attachment, you'll have your feedback, and I can give you feedback on the attachment. But if you post it in the discussion section, I can only comment on certain things you did wrong in the discussion section. So I recommend that when you answer in the discussions, that you do it in a Word document and then just attach it as an attachment file. For those of you who are not familiar with how to do that, then you can call me and I can give you some guidance on that. But just know that all discussion posts will be posted in the discussion section. Okay, the next section is project papers, papers assignment. So you'll see that I have all your assignments located in this particular section. So all 4 assignments are located there. The only thing you're going to see in the first week is assignment 1. And then, of course, when you get to week 4, I think you'll see assignment 2. So just note that. So everybody should be looking at the first assignment now or tomorrow. So you should be able to see the first assignment and what's expected of you. And also, as you go through that, you'll see here again, I have your course outline and I have your rubrics also located in that same section. It's my intent to try to give you as much information as you need to be successful in this course. And just know that I will be looking at your writing thoroughly, because if you're going to be submitting documents on the behalf of clients, on the behalf of your agency, then it's very important that you know how to do this in writing and communicate in writing with supported information. Okay, so all your papers assignment is located under papers and projects, and this is where you would be submitting it. Okay, the next section is groups. Okay, so I have your group here, but I haven't put you in teams yet. So just know I will be putting you in teams. So there will be 4 teams, 4 groups with 3 members in each for this particular assignment. So by tomorrow, you should be able to see who's in your group. And so I'm expecting you to be able to communicate in the discussion section with each other as you look at this assignment and complete this assignment. Be mindful, this assignment is worth 35% of your final grade. So it's imperative that you work together as a team and you look at the difference in each other cultural background, values, and belief systems, because it has a lot to do with it. Because, we work with people of all different cultures and backgrounds. So it's important as a team that you come together and look at this assignment as a team and complete this process. So here again, you will be put in groups by tomorrow. So you'll see what groups you fall in. If not, then we can do that later. The next section is tests and quizzes. So as we look at test and quiz, you have your pre-test, which will be open up to you by today. By tomorrow, you should be able to take the 20-question pre-test. Here again, I'm not particularly worried about your score on the pretest. It's not going to be counted towards your final grade. This is just used as an evaluation tool so that we can look at how you did on the pre versus how you did on the post. So there should be improvement on your post test from the pre-test. So, I'm not looking for you to get 100 on the pre-test just starting out because you haven't read any of the information. You're going by what you basically know about the information, what little you did read, what little you knew about the discussion question. But on the post, this is where you should be showing a difference. So your score on the post should be much higher. Again, let me tell you, your pre and post test is not reflected upon your final grade. Do you have to do it? Yes. And the reason you have to do it, because it's an evaluation tool for your accreditation. Okay, as we go on down the line, the next part basically is your critical reflection and active and proactive learning outline that I put in there for you, which I will be giving you a grade. This is a part of your grading process, and it allows you to also evaluate yourself as we go through this part of the lesson. So it's imperative that you look at each one of these, that you're responding in the discussion questions, that you are responding in accordance to what's required of you in the discussions. So here again, this is the evaluation tool that will be used to reflect on how well students are doing in the course. Again, let me just say that you are the first cohort in this master's program. And the quality of work and the quality of material, our response to the material, is going to reflect on the overall standing of the program. So you're going to be the driving force for the groups that's going to be coming, or the cohorts that's going to be coming after you. So it's important that you be very attentive to what's asked of you, that you are thorough in your responses, you are utilizing APA writing style format, you have an understanding of it. All of this is expected of you. As we go on down to the course outline, this is where I expect students to actually look at what's required of them from the week to week process. So as we click on week 1, you'll see that week 1, I have a list of all the assignments that's required of you in week 1. So you have your reading assignment, you have your learning objective, you're going to have the video lecture that I'm going to be providing to you. That's going to be there. You have your discussion, introduction discussion and what it's about, your discussion for 1 that's there, your PowerPoints for 1 and 2 that's there, and also the required recommending readings for chapter 1. So there are some additional reading that you probably can utilize to also be in response to the questions in the discussion section. So that's just a hint out to you that that's another resource that you can use to respond to the discussion. And when you click on this particular link, you're going to have your chapter 1 and chapter 2 objectives and core competency. So as I just clicked on it, you're going to see what it's all about, okay? And so it's a written format that's telling you what the learning objectives are. It's going to also tell you about what's in competency 1, what's in competency 2, competency 3. So all of these are going to be reflected of your first chapter 1 and 2 response. So here again, you're going to do a self-assessment. So you're looking at competency 1, demonstrating ethical and professional behavior. Based on your understanding, you're going to be looking at engaging in diversity and difference in practice. That could be your team assignment. Again, competency 3 is advanced human rights and social economics and environmental justice that you're going to be looking at. So I've given you your learning expected objectives, and I also give you your competencies and how it falls under those competencies. So again, all of the assignments is based on the competencies and what's expected of you. And so you must have an understanding of the competencies and how it relates to the assignments, because when you get in field, you're going to be doing some of these things. You may have to do an assessment of a client. You may have to do a self-reflection paper of your experience in field. It all depends on how you develop your learning contract and how you're going to go about exhibiting those learning objectives. So I kind of give you an idea of what's in week 1, and you'll see the same thing in week 2, in which I provide you the same materials in week 2 of what's expected of you. So when we go to week 3, you'll see the same thing. So each week I expect students to be clicking on these links so they can see what's required of them. I have your PowerPoints, I have your required readings. So all of that's there for you, your competencies for those chapters and understanding those competencies. I know in the BSW, we always tell you to read your competencies. Some of you may have, some of you may not. Here in the Masters, we expect you to know these competencies and how it aligns itself with the assignments that you're going to be completing. So when you get into field, you'll be able to do your learning contract and how to explain how you're going to go about achieving these competencies. So as we go to 4, you'll see the same thing. Week 4, what's required of you. Here again, you'll see you have your assignment for week 4 there. You have your discussion for week 4, the list of things that's required of you in week 4, your PowerPoints, your additional reading to include your learning objectives and core competencies. Another reason you might want to look at the learning objectives is when you get around to writing your resume. Well, some of these learning objectives can be validated in your resume as you talk about facilitating some of these assignments that you're going to be doing. So week 5, you'll see the same thing. So here again, for all the week assignments, I have it listed for you. Okay. Under course tools, you have Blackboard Collaborate. Normally, that's only if we decided we want to come together as a group and meet in Blackboard, then we can do it there. Another area that I can use is go into Blackboard here in the group and talk about the video lectures, which allows you to actually go about listening to it later on, where you can have an understanding of the lecture for that particular week. So that's another place where I can post it, where it'll show up the very next day for a recording that you can listen to. And I think I will do both as I go through this process, as far as the video lecture, so you can have it available to you. Okay, supplement material, that's only if I put other reading articles or anything there. So here again, the only thing there is an APA video that you might want to review to help you with APA. I also want to encourage students to utilize the library in at least helping them with their papers. In APA format. They're not going to write your papers for you. But if you tell them what your paper is about, or you give them a writing sample of your paper that you want to submit, they can proofread it for APA format, referencing. Another place you can go to is Purdue OWL to actually do that. A lot of times, students use Microsoft Office for APA and Purdue OWL, but they really don't understand how to reference an article or how to reference something in the body of the text. And that's where that APA manual will come in to help you with that process. So Blackboard Help is just an area that you can go to kind of give you information about Blackboard for students. I have a web link there. It's nothing in here, but I can post web links for you to go in and take a look at whatever information I may provide you. The next two links are very important. So here I have your 9 competencies, CSW core competencies, and it's listed here. I recommend that you print them out, put it in a textbook binder so that you can have it. Because when you get ready to develop your learning contract, you're going to be required to actually do a learning contract based on your competencies. So you'll know what the competencies are all about as you go through this process. So this is a list of the CSWE core competencies, and you have 9 of them, and I'm telling you what's in each one of the competencies below that. I recommend that you print this out, put it in a binder, and keep it with you throughout this course, because you're going to hear about competencies in each one of the course you're taking and how each competencies is building on the next course. So I recommend that you print this out. Going back to Blackboard, the next one is your NSW Code of Ethics. It's a link there that's going to take you to the NSW Code of Ethics. This is the new NSW Code of Ethics. Some of you may already have it, some of you may not. It's important with this new one because in this new one, it talks about the use of technology in the profession. And some of you may be doing an assessment of a client virtually. So you must have an understanding of the importance of confidentiality, safeguarding the client's information, anonymity. So these are some of the ethical cores that's going to be addressed in the chapter. So it's already here for you. Here again, I recommend you print it. If you don't have it, put it in a binder. This is something you will need throughout this course, and it lays out all the principles for you. So I recommend that you put this in a binder along with your competency. I would place a divider where I have my competencies, CSW core competencies, and I'll have my Code of Ethics book. But you'll find this in all of the courses. In every last one of your advanced standing courses, this information is going to be available to you in the same place. Now, does that mean, do I need to print it out and save it? Yes, it does, because when this course ends, then it won't show up until you get into the next course. So if you have it already in a binder, you already have it available, it'll always be with you. I always tell social work students, you can develop or implement a treatment or intervention plan that might not be successful for the client, but if you violate your ethical standards, then there are repercussions because of it. So it's important that you have an understanding of your code of ethics. So as we move on further, it's the proctoral exam information. You don't have to worry about that. All of you know what's in the course management tool by now. So this is the section that talks about Blackboard and where things are in Blackboard. So everything is there for you. You just have to take the time to actually read and see what's there. Again, you're in a master's program now that's going to require a whole lot of your time. And this is where you have to utilize time management to your best ability to be successful in this course. I must say, for those of you who have to have an A, just know that it doesn't take an A to pass the course. It takes an A or B. You can get 2 C's in the course, but you don't want to get 2 C's in the course, so you must, either have an A or B, but you must pass the course. For those of you who must have an A, you need to take a look at self and ask those questions of yourself before you look at me as your instructor, the information in the course, or whether it was too much information in the course. So you must ask yourself, did I complete all assignments to standard? Did I ask questions when I needed to ask questions? Did I write my papers in accordance to APA writing style? Those are the things that I look at when I evaluate a student's performance in a course. I don't look at the individual. I look at the productive work that the individual put in. I look at whether the individual took my feedback and took it into the next week. They just say, well, that part is over with. I don't have to worry about it. So here again, it requires much time management. It requires attention to detail. It requires your ability to apply critical thinking. Earlier in the email, I gave you a sort of what is expected in graduate handout to you to take a look at. And I want you to look at those things and look at what I have in there, because this is what graduate school is all about. Utilize me as a support system for you, because that's what I am. I'm here to support you through this process. Now, I'm not here to do your work for you, but I'm here to provide whatever support you need. I'm here to be understanding about things that's going on in this day and time with the virus, to include family life. I understand all of that. Your peers are going through it also. So just be mindful of that, and I will be mindful of your process also. So utilize me as a support system for you. Utilize your peers as a support system. You don't have to ask me every question. You can reach out to your peers and then reach out to me. But just know that I'm here for you, and I'm here for you when you have concerns to help you through this process. So I'm going to end this section of the recording, and my next two recordings are going to be centered around chapters 1 and chapter 2, summary for the two chapters that will help you with the readings. Does that mean that you do not have to read the chapters? Yes, you do. You have to read what's in the textbook to have an understanding of what's being asked of you. So I wish you much luck and success, and feel free to call me at any time. You have my contact information. So I'm going to end this section and start with your video lecture for the next two chapters.